Dave the Butcher Clifford here for WXC. We're preparing for Friday, October 21st, 2016, inside the Eastern Michigan University Convocation Center in Ypsilanti, Michigan, for WXC 65. Our second offering in this man's hometown, and we welcome Greg Sizemore, who will be competing on the card in the middleweight division. First of all, 1-2-1 as a professional. Your last fight was inside the WXC cage against Travis Pettengill, looking to overcome a fight where you worked so hard to not really get any results for anyone. What does that do to transfer into this contest against Marcus Maulding?
I look at the Travis fight as if it was, I didn't win, I didn't lose, but, I have to take it with as a loss. I have to learn from it. A lot of times when guys win, they keep the same pace, the same kind of training. Now I've amped my training up a little more. I'm training a little bit more as well, but I'm going into this fight, extra prepared, ready for the ground, stand up, top, bottom, wherever it may go.
And then taking back to your last professional victory over highly favored Eric Morrison, somebody who was coming from the lab, who had moved to Arizona to train with some pretty heavy hitters, and a lot of banter went back and forth. He came in that fight pretty confident, and he left that fight with an L. What did that do to motivate you in your career?
It really pushed me. I love being an underdog. Anybody can tell you, a lot of the guys that I train, from Eastern, a lot of people don't look at us as a legit gym. Just another guy I can beat up on. Since I took over that gym, we're 27-7. And now that we've added Adlai Cleveland to our coaching staff, he's my coach now. It's really improved our ground game and our striking. He has a world of knowledge when it comes to jiu-jitsu, 10th Planet. He's a black belt underneath Eddie Bravo. He has a brown belt underneath Machado. Mm-hmm. And his striking is just amazing. His Muay Thai is top level. And it's just, fighting Eric, I was ready. I was well prepared. I wasn't underprepared. I wasn't coaching myself like I did my previous 2 fights before Eric. I was trying to coach myself, and that's something you can't do as a professional. It doesn't work like that.
And was it hard to stay determined after that? And was that really the deciding factor for you to go out there and seek the tutelage of Adlai Cleveland?
There's a lot of things motivated me. My wife is one thing that motivates me. She kind of takes a back seat right now. She lets me train. I train 6-7 hours a day. It's like a full-time job. She doesn't get to see me as much. She works full-time. I work part-time. You're not gonna find very many women who are married and don't make their husbands have full-time jobs to support, a house income, paying bills, paying car notes. She takes care of all that, and she lets me train. So my motivation is to one day she doesn't have to work. She can sit back and enjoy, what she let me enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Well, good luck convincing her not to. Mine won't listen. Now, of course, we talked about the addition of 10th Planet to EMU MMA. Your team has been showing up, like you said, 27-7 since you walked in there and started taking over. What does it mean for all of your team to be hosting this event?
It's not the same as we hosted it last time. Last time, I think I had 13 guys fight. This time, I wanted it down. There's only 4 of us fighting this time from Eastern. It's a little bit better this time, actually. Last time, I was exhausted. Cornering 13 guys. I was just coming off my first loss as a pro. But just being there on campus, it's a great presence. Just to know that, guys who are part of our team are fighting again. For instance, Kyle Polarski, he's one of the first guys I ever coached as an amateur, and now he's having his first pro fight. As well as I might be coaching these guys for this fight, I will not be cornering them. It's a little too much for me to be fighting on the same card and cornering them as a pro. So Adlai is actually going to step up and corner my guys as well, because they've also been training at 10th Planet with him.
He's definitely a presence in anyone's corner, and that should be helpful for the old home team there. So you've lightened your load in preparation for this. It seems to me like you're well prepared. Now let's talk about your opponent. Marcus Maulding, He's been a journeyman. He had joined up with Scorpion Fighting Systems. I just heard that he wasn't there anymore. He likes to take a lot of fights on short notice. But does that make a person like Marcus tough to prepare for because you get so many different looks, or does that make it easier to prepare for because you get so many different looks?
The way I look at it is, fighting a guy like Marcus, I'm not gonna fight his style. I'm gonna make him fight my style. I always go into fight guys like the game plan. I'm not a game planner. I like to go in there. I like to make guys fight my fight. I feel like if you game plan, you can get away from that too much. But when you go in there with all your skill sets and put them together, I think that's what you really need to do. But a guy like Marcus, you know, he's a hard hitter. He likes to come out fast. And I know he's going to bring it. I know he's not going to come out and just lay down and collect a paycheck. I mean, like people say, I'm in the business of collecting 2 checks, you know, and that's what I plan on doing. October 21st is collecting 2 checks.
All right, well, you know, and again, that will be taking place inside the Eastern Michigan University Convocation Center on Friday, October 21st. Now, 2 final questions for you before we wrap this up. Number 1, a message for your opponent, Marcus Maulding.
The message is going to be, I'm bringing it, I'm coming hard, I'm looking to finish it early.
And then for anybody that's going to be looking at this, your message to the WXC fans, why should they come to this event?
It's in a state-of-the-art facility. I mean, nobody in Michigan has the opportunity or the resources to put a fight on in this kind of location. It's on Eastern Michigan's campus. It's where their basketball team plays at, right next to where the football team plays at. It's a 10,000-seat arena and a scoreboard above. You can see fighters fight from the screen above. It's a real unique kind of UFC feel vibe that you get from fighting here.
Dave the Butcher Clifford here for WXC as we get ready for Friday, October 21st in Ypsilanti, Michigan, inside the Eastern Michigan University Convocation Center for WXC 65. We're talking with one of our professional competitors, longtime tenured WXC competitor, Marcus Maulding, who will be fighting professionally against Greg Sizemore in the middleweight division. And how does it feel to be stepping back into the WXC cage for perhaps the 30th time or something like that?
It feels really good. I'm always thankful for Norbert and Mike for giving me the opportunity as an amateur and now giving me the opportunity as a pro.
After having a long amateur career like that, what was the transition like becoming a professional?
The transition to becoming a professional was a little bit more determination, understanding the fact that I won't be able to hop up and take fights on short notice, even though I have been offered the capability of doing that. At this point in time, I'm just looking to get back to my roots and understand the fight game a little bit better as a mixed martial artist. Stepping back with my former coach, John Johnson, and we're taking a new approach that we've never done before. So a lot of different gyms and camps are seeing us at this point in time together, and it just makes it plausible and possible for me to become a better, well-rounded mixed martial artist.
And then, so now you're going to be focusing again on more of the striking. Your last time inside the WXC steel as a professional, you had a tough loss to Brandon Noble. What have you done to regroup since then?
Since the loss to Brandon Noble, I took a step back to realize what my mistakes were. First of all, my mistake was realizing that I'm not capable of cutting the weight that I once was able to. Understanding my body is maturing, I'm getting older, and it's just not healthy for me to do it, as well as my walk-around weight, trying to keep it in check. So from there, that loss took its toll on me, but I feel that he's a great competitor and that I just kind of lost track of myself during that.
Mm-hmm. Well, a weight class is an important thing in anyone's career, and as a professional, it's vital. And so you're stepping up and competing at middleweight against your opponent in his hometown, Greg Sizemore. So even though this is not a short notice fight, it's got to feel like a short notice fight going in against someone who's going to have a lot of people from their hometown in the crowd. Any type of preparation for things like that, or is that just old hat to someone like you?
40 amateur fights prepared me for being around the state, traveling to different promotions and allowing myself to be in a hostile environment with the crowd. Him being at home makes no difference to me or any one of my teammates or coaches.
Have you been working on evasiveness? One of the things that in watching and having been cage side for a lot of your fights, you come out furious and you're a headhunter. So if you connect in those first few moments, you weaken that opponent if you don't finish him. Have you taken a step back from that? Is that kind of what you're alluding to for trying new things? Or are you still going to be explosive inside the WXC cage?
There's no way to stop me from being explosive. There's no way to stop me from letting my hands go besides trying to take me down. Now I'm just getting back to the point where I need to work on my takedown defense, realizing that no opponent is going to stand in front of me and allow me to hit them, no matter how good of a striker they claim to be.
Do you feel like you have more power at middleweight?
I feel healthier, I feel stronger, I feel faster, I hit harder than all the middleweights. It doesn't matter to me.
That's an outstanding way of looking at things. Now, in your first ever WXC fight, WXC 32, and that was
2012.
2012, so half of all the fights. You've been here for half of the life of WXC. You won by a devastating knockout. You want to take us back to that moment and tell us what sold you on WXC being the best promotion in the Midwest?
What told me on it is the fact that I called the matchmaker, Michael Pentinelli, at 11:30 at night after taking my first mixed martial arts bout as an amateur. And I said, I seen on a website that you guys are looking for mixed martial artists to compete. I'm 1-0. I won by TKO. He says, I don't care. It's 11:30. What are you doing calling me? And I just kind of giggle and laugh about it. So from that point, he called me back the next morning. He says, hey, I have a guy. The guy's name was Shane Gardner. He fights out of, at that time, Striking Dragons. He says that he has that opponent willing to fight me. So I stepped into the WXC cage for my second amateur fight, was capable of knocking the guy out within 17 seconds of the first round, and it just sold me on Mike being a person of stature in the community of mixed martial arts and always allowing me to compete, so he sold me since the very first fight.
That's a heck of a story, and we're going to continue to do so as well. And again, Friday, October 21st, inside the EMU Convocation Center, Ypsilanti, Michigan, for WXC 65. Marcus, do you have a message for any of the fans that are either on the fence about attending or anybody that is attending on why they should pay particular attention to you in your fight?
They already know to pay attention. They don't blink, they don't leave to smoke a cigarette, they don't go to drink a beer, because they know once I let my hands go, it's a possible knockout within the first 5 seconds of the fight.
Well, and let's talk about your opponent then, Greg Sizemore. What do you have to say to your opponent in preparation for October 21st?
We all know what you're going to do. You do what everybody else does. You're going to try to wrestle me, claim that you're going to strike with me. Not going to happen. I get that. If you do stand in front of me for longer than 10 seconds, I can guarantee your head's going to bobble left to right.